So guys, in order to make this happen, what tables do I need? What tables do I need to create this map?
Customers, orders, order items,
Customers, orders, order items, and
books.
books, right? Wow. Okay. So let's start pairing them. So customers will be paired with which table?
Orders.
Orders. And the common field is?
Customer number.
Okay. Okay, orders will then be linked with which table?
Order items.
Order items. And the common field is?
Order number.
Okay. And then order items need to be linked with books. And the common field is?
ISBN number.
ISBN. Awesome. Okay. So we are selecting, I'll alias C for customer. We're selecting customer's first name and customer's last name, and we are selecting the title of the book from customers YSC, inner join, orders YSO on C dot customer number equals to O dot customer number. Inner join, order items on O dot order number equals to order items dot order number. Inner join books B on right? Is that what it is?
Looks like it.
Okay. And if I were to organize it in terms of, I want to display all the books by the titles in the ascending order, I can then add to this order by title, and that will do the trick. Okay, so did everybody got this? Let's see. Those people who did not give me a green check, I'm specifically talking to them.
Yeah, I see what I missed now, though.
Okay. Okay. With this, I want to transition to chapter number 9. Chapter number 9. Let me open that. Our next topic, which is subqueries. A subquery means that you have to write a query within a query. It's a query within a query. And that's what the subquery is. So that means you have an outer query and you have a nested query inside it. The inner query will produce a result set, which will then be an output from the inner query becoming an input for the outer query. And then the outer query will then use that input to produce the next set of output. So it's like chaining queries in steps, like a nested if condition or a nested loop. That's what subquery is all about. So subquery is a query that is placed inside another query. Then you have a single row or a single value subquery. What does that mean? That means the subquery only returns one value back. For example, if I say, I want the price of the book that has an ISBN number of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and there will be only one book with that ISBN number, so only one value comes out. That's called a single row or a single value subquery. And as you can tell, then there must be a multi-row subquery, right? So multi-row subqueries are those subqueries which allow multiple rows to be transferred back to the outer query. And then it has to run its result on those. So a multi-row subquery is a subquery that uses multiple row operators. And there are 3 multi-row operators. You have an in operator, an any operator, and an all operator. Okay, these are the 3. The in operator, as you can see, it has a bunch of values coming in, and all the values are OR. Any is like any of the many values, and all is all the values. So in, you guys already know, but all and any is slightly different in nature. If the subquery is preceded by the any operator, the resulting condition is true if it satisfies any of the values. So if you say, I want to pick a book whose price is less than any of these prices, so what does that mean? You end up getting a book that is less than, or you end up getting books that are less than even the minimum value, because that's the value that all of them will hit just fine. So less than the minimum, then there'll be no results. But if you say, I want to get all the books that are greater than any of these, that means you will end up getting all the books because all the books will be greater than all of these values. On the contrary, when you say all is just the opposite of any. It means I want something that is, whatever operator you use, meets the criteria with all these values. So if you say, I want a book that is less than all these books, then of course you get all the books that are less than all these values. And if you say, I want all the books that are greater than all these values, then you probably will not get any book because none of the book will be greater than all the values. So any and all operators are also considered to be a multi-row operator, just like in. Then comes a correlated subquery. So SQL evaluated the subquery once in the previous case. And what happens is that the inner query then sends a result out to the outer query, and the outer query only gets one time result back. In a correlated subquery, the inner query and outer query continuously jump back and forth. So inner query will generate an output, will send it to the outer query. Based on that, outer query will generate an output of its own and will then revisit the inner query to keep asking for another value to generate the next set of output. So it's like nested like a loop, where you're not going in only once, but you are constantly connected. So that's a correlated subquery that we'll also be looking at. Exists. Exists is a keyword that you can use outside of the subquery. where you're saying that only run the outer query if inner query produces results. If there are results to be produced by the inner query only, then we'll worry about the outer. Because exist operator is true if the subquery result set contains at least one row. Otherwise, it's false. And not exist is just the opposite of that. Okay. And then when you combine the subqueries and joins, that can also be done. For example, you can have in your inner query, not simple queries, but join queries, which return results to the outer queries, which themselves could be queries with joins, and it can just build like that. As you can see in example number 13 in the book, that query itself looks quite complicated, right? So you have an innermost query, and there's no there's no limit to the number of nestings you can have. Typically, people don't go more than 4 or 5 nestings. But here, just to help you understand, we have a join statement over here, which will return a result to the statement above, where it has its own statement waiting for the inner query to return a result, which will then produce a result for the outer query. So like that, nesting goes up. We'll be looking at all the examples of all of these different kinds. I just wanted to give you a brief overview of these. So a nested view is a subquery specified in the from clause. So what happens is that your from clause is not really a table. Your from clause is a temporary table that is created on the fly, and then from there you start grabbing the data set. But I don't want to go into a lot of these things earlier on. Just wanted to give you a little bit of heads up that from doesn't always have to grab the data from a permanent source. It can also grab the data from a temporary source that you can generate on the fly. So we'll be looking at that kind of stuff as well. So I believe, let's get started right now, and then we will going to go back to the chapter if there need to be that case. So let me share. Okay, let me share. Yeah, okay. Okay. Now let's do it in steps. Display all books. What query should I write?
Select asterisk from books.
Awesome.
Something like
Awesome. Okay. Display the highest retail amount. What query should I write? Yes, guys.
Select max retail from books.
Okay. Now, I would like to display the title of the book that is the most expensive book. Alex, what do you think?
I'm still typing, so I haven't gotten my head wrapped around it yet. Give me just a second.
Okay.
Could you do a where clause in that? Where retail equals max retail?
Okay, let's try it. So you want to do select title from books where retail equals to a max retail. Is that what you said?
Yes.
So close. You actually have to make that into a subquery where it select max retail from.
Greg, hold on. I know you know some of the stuff, but just
Okay.
stop there. Now. So why is that a problem?
Because we have an error.
Why is that an error when syntactically it looks close? We learned about it last week. Or maybe the week before, when we started working with aggregate functions. Greg Skripsky, do you know the reason of the error? I know you jumped to the solution, but I want you to tell me what's the reason of this.
I don't know the exact way to phrase it, but
Okay.
the aggregate function changes the way it is. So it can't compare all of the different values in retail with just the single.
Okay, I see. So what Greg Skripsky is stating is that you cannot compare a single value with a grouped value. You can't do that. SQL doesn't allow you to do that. The reason is because think about it like this. When you run this SQL command, the where clause will run for every record because every record has a retail. So it says, okay, for book number 1, retail is $50. Check it against the max retail. Okay, well enough. In the next cycle, when it comes, it says, okay, now the new retail is $70. Check it against, and the SQL engine says, check it against what? I already told you the max retail. I'm not running it again. So aggregate functions only run once. They can't keep running on every query and for every statement. These are not for record calls. These are for statement calls. They only run once per statement. So that's why there's a problem, because one side of the equals to is saying, I want to run for every record. The other side of the statement is saying, I am done running. What do you mean? So there is a mismatch. Are you guys following that?
So you're saying that the title side is saying run for every record, or that just the retail side?
Yeah, because this,
Okay.
of course, the retail is working on behalf of the title.
Okay,
So
that makes sense.
this thing is saying I want to run for every record, and this thing saying I will run once for the whole table or for the whole query. So that's why it creates a mismatch between their execution. So that's why the best way to solve this kind of a problem would be, as Greg said, this is where we bring in subqueries, because what subquery will do, subquery will run it once, will produce a value, and that value will be a literal constant, and will hand over the literal constant to the outer query. And when you have a literal constant, you can work against that literal constant as many times as you like. It's just like the aggregate function was a problem. Therefore, if on the other side of the equals to, we say select max retail from books, then only one value is generated only one time, and that value comes and sits here next to equals to. So every time this part of the query runs, it is only checking itself against that value, not against the entire inner query. I know I misspelled the select. I'll fix it. Okay, so that will tell you that this is the most expensive book's title.
Oh, with that kind of price, that doesn't sound painless.
So the inner query it's only executed once,
The
and it's
inner
compared to
query-
every record from the
Okay.
outer query,
Let
right?
me rephrase it.
Okay,
In
please.
this case, inner query is running once, because remember, were you here when we talked about different types of inner queries?
Mhm.
Okay, so this inner query is the one that only runs once, because this is not a correlated inner query. This is a single value inner query. So it runs once, gives its value back, and that's it.
So every time you have one of those aggregate functions, the query is only running once.
Again, as I said, if
No.
it is a correlated subquery, which you have not yet seen, so that's why it's hard for you to bring it into context. So for now, let's go one step at a time. That this is an example of a single value query,
Okay.
okay, where the inner query is only sending one value back. We'll just leave it at that for now. And so in this case, yes, inner query will only run once.
And you compare that value to every retail.
Exactly, with
of
for
the
every
outer.
record, right? Because now the inner query has given a literal value to the outer query. So the outer query is now only checking against that literal value. It's not continuously running the inner query.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm. And this is a single value or single row subquery, because the inner query is returning only one value out. So for single row or single value subquery, equals to can be used, but equals to cannot be used for multi-row values, because you have multiple rows coming back. Very similar to this one, if I want to display the least expensive book, Desmond, what change will I make to this query to make it display the least expensive book?
Second, let me try.
So again,
I said, give me 1 second. Let me try to see.
hey, yes, Desmond.
Second, sir.
Huh? I'm just asking a question. You don't need to do this. Just tell me, what change should I make to line 22 to meet what the criteria of the comment 21? Tell me visually. You don't need to do it on your end to tell me.
Oh, well, I know if I have it correct if I don't try to run it.
No, I'm just telling you that line 19 displays me the most expensive book. So what change will I make to line 22 to have the least expensive book?
Not sure.
Okay, what function did I use on line 19 to give me the most expensive book?
Select the max retail
So
from books.
what is the function that I used? Is select a function? Is max a function? A
The
from?
select is the
Say again?
select from the select is a function now, or am I
You
seeing
tell
it
me. I'm
wrong?
asking you. Don't ask me a question. When I ask you a question, you're watching a lot of presidential campaigns, looks like.
A lot of presidential campaigns.
Which of these are functions? Select, max, from. Which one of these three is a function?
I thought is the whole is the way you use it and it makes it the function.
Come on, Desmond. You have been doing programming for at least a few years now. Every time you write a function, what is it that you put next to a function name?
You gotta select it and then
No. Forget about SQL. In general, every time you write a program, what is the symbol that you put next to a function name? Let's say in Java, you write, okay, system.out.println. Println is a function name. What do you put right after the println?
I'm sorry, I'm confused.
Okay, I mean, I'm gonna write it for you here so that, okay, this is Java. Assume I write system dot out dot println. What do I put after the ln? I want to display something on the screen. Okay. Well, if you remember, we have a main method, right? In most of the Java programs or C#.
Yeah.
Okay, what is it that I put next to main? You remember these guys? The parentheses? Desmond?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So functions always have parentheses. Who has parentheses in here? Who has parentheses here?
The retail.
No, retail is inside the parentheses. But who starts and closes the parentheses?
The max. The
Max.
select max.
Yes, max is a function. Retail is the value.
Oh, I get what you're saying.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay. So
yes,
max
sir.
is giving you the most expensive book. What will give you the least expensive book?
Lease, I guess. If you put lease there.
What is the opposite of max? What is the opposite of max?
Minimum. Min.
Yes.
That's what you were asking. All right. I was just confused about what you were.
That's okay. I almost told you the answer.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, Pamela. Which one of the queries, lines 19 or 20, will I start out with to start modifying? For this one,
19.
19. Okay. Edit, copy, edit, paste. Okay. What modification will I make?
Where retail. So instead of from books, you're gonna switch it from to category.
Books is the name of the table.
Let's see here.
Earlier on, I was only displaying the title of the book. Now I need the title of the book, I need the category of the book, and I need the retail. Okay, so I need 3 sets of information. I already have the title, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay, so how can I get the category and the retail?
By select category.
Yeah, just give me the full query.
Select category from.
No. I need 3 fields, right? They're all
Mhm.
from the same table, books. So how do you select 3 fields from the same table?
I'm thinking here. Let's see.
How about you do this query first? Line 13, run line 13. What does that gives you?
That gives me. Hold on. I'm running. So like what you mean all the what it's saying like ISBN, title, pub date.
It gives you all the fields, right?
Right.
Okay, if you only want to display 3 fields out of the table,
Mm-hmm.
then what would you write here in place?
Well, I would just list the 3 I want.
Oh. Like, for example, these are the 3 fields, title, category, and retail. How would you write that?
So I would write it as select title, comma, category, comma, retail.
That's exactly what you will do here on line 25.
Okay.
So what was that? Title?
Mm-hmm.
And then?
Comma, category,
Uh-huh.
comma, retail.
That's it. That's it. So that's the title, the category, and the retail of the most expensive book. So this is the most expensive book by retail. Okay. Okay, I want to display the title and category of the most expensive book by cost. Okay. Let's see. Zach. How can I solve this query? Can I use one of my existing queries from lines 19 or 25 or 22?
Yeah, I think you can use the one from 19.
Okay, so I'll use the one from 19, copy it, and then paste it. And what change will I make?
You do an order by cost.
No. What is the query currently doing? What is line 28 currently doing without any change?
It's just selecting the title of the most expensive book.
By?
Retail.
And I want you to change it to by.
Oh, okay. Let
So?
me look at my chart real quick.
No, don't look at anything. Just tell me what change will I make here.
Is it just cost?
Yes,
Okay.
you will replace all occurrences of retail with cost.
And then you just do category in the select.
You don't have to do anything. Yeah, in the select, yeah. In the select. You just add one more field, correct. And
Okay.
then that's it. That's it. Okay. Now I want to display all books that are more expensive in cost than database implementation book. So there's a book whose title is database implementation. I want to grab all the books that cost more than that book. And I need to know everything about those books. So I know for sure that I'll start out with select star from books. I want to know everything about those books. Okay. Who can help me write the rest? Alvin, you want to give it a shot?
Sure. Okay, so you're taking all books. Where you want to do where let's see. How much more expensive than cost? For retail, I'm thinking retail.
No. There's no retail. It's cost.
Oh, the cost. Yes, I forgot
Right.
to say. I got to go back and open up my fields. Select all. Oh yeah, cost.
Uh-huh.
One. Cost is
Cost what?
going to be greater than.
Uh-huh.
Almost feel like we would jump back into a another select.
Right. So we have to do an inner query.
Yeah.
Yeah, the inner query. Okay. So what will I write in the inner query?
Probably a retail from books where title is equal to the database implementation.
Why retail? I'm working with
Or
cost.
cost. Yeah. I'm stuck on retail
Okay, class from books. Okay, then.
where title is equal to the database implementation.
Okay.
That's the whole name.
Yes.
Yeah, that's it.
Jose, is this a single value query or a multi-value query?
Single value,
Single value, because
Yes.
there is only one book
one book with that name,
with
that title.
Right. However, we will get multiple output from the outer query because of the greater than sign. Because there are more than one books that are meeting that criteria.
Right.
Yeah. Cool.
I think we'd remember all the fields inside there after working with them for so long, but I keep forgetting them.
Well, happens. Okay. I will make a brief change to this query. I mean, like this problem. And okay, Ezra, what change should I make to lines 37, 38
Lo siento, Mr. Saad, no habla inglés.
You know what? A friend of mine used to work in one of these places in Racine, and somebody did that to him. And you know what he did to that guy? He said, okay, you don't understand what I'm saying. I'm gonna give you a task that needs no instruction. He made him clean the chimney at a factory. In 3 days, the guy came back to him and said, what did I do to you? He said, but I thought you don't know English.
Lord. All right, so you want to display all customer books that are more expensive in cost than the database implementation book.
Yeah,
So
there is only one difference between line 30 and 35, and that is the word computer. Previously, we needed all books. Now we only need those books that are in computer category that meets this criteria.
would we have to target the title computer books specifically? And to do that, it would be I want to say it'd be select all from books where title equals computer books, but that doesn't make any sense. Or does it?
No, I mean, like, we're still selecting every information about the book, but we're only selecting every information about those books that cost more than the database implementation book. And the books that we select should be in the computer category only. So if there is a fitness book or a family book, those books will not be selected, even if their cost is more than the database implementation.
Okay.
So far, this query is selecting everybody. So if you're
Yes.
looking at the output from here, the resulting output of this will be that it should only display the Holy Grail of Oracle and the e-business the easy way. Those should be the only two books actually picked. First and the fourth book should not be picked because it's not in the computer category.
Hold on 1 second. I'm going to try something out.
Okay.
Greater.
You can also say display only
Jose,
computer books. Oh, it's a question.
Jose, you can also say that display only computer category books. I know.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
I know.
No, it's a question. I
I
just wanted.
I purposely did that.
Okay. Okay.
I am not sure.
Okay, let's rephrase it to the Jose way. Okay, so we're gonna call this the Jose way. Wow, it looks like we have coined a term today, Jose. Okay, Jose, what were you saying? Let's write your words down here. What were you saying? Should we reword this to that?
Oh, display only
Display
computer books category.
computer category books.
Books, yes.
Okay. That
are everything else the same.
right. Everything else is exactly the same as before. Oops. Okay, so either this or that, however you want to phrase it. Okay, Ezra.
I'm looking at it right now.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. You're gonna have to show me.
So look at it that right now, the way this query is written, everybody is selected. So let me rerun this query. And you said you see that all books in all categories are selected. How would you eliminate the other categories but computer? So for example, let's go back to the programming. If you are writing an if condition and you want more than one criteria to meet, how would you force that in an if condition? Which operator will you use to tell that I want both conditions to be met? Let's say you have to and, right? And is what we use, Ezra?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So for example, if
Hold on 1 second. I think I got it. One
Okay.
second.
Uh-huh.
So still typing. Let me there we go. Is that correct?
Okay, let's see. Yes, yes, exactly. Exactly. So you're basically saying, give me all those books which exceed in cost than the cost of the database implementation, and the books that are picked must be in the computer category. Yes, that's it. And category equals to computer. So notice only the computer category books are picked. All of the books are eliminated. Greg Nelson. This query.
All right.
Okay. So we need to get all the information for all the books that cost more than or equal to the average cost of all books in the books table.
All right, so we're gonna select all from books where the cost is greater than or equal to.
Uh-huh.
And then I don't know how many books are in the book table.
That doesn't matter.
All right, well then you're gonna have to explain that part to me, because
Okay.
after that I'm lost.
Okay. How do you calculate the average cost? There is a built-in function to do that. It's an aggregate function.
And that's why I'm here to learn.
So, no, we learned about this 2 weeks ago. I didn't ask you for anything that we did not learn. So when we first did the aggregate functions, we looked at min, we looked at max, we looked at sum, and we also looked at count, and we also looked at average. So what is that average function?
I don't remember, Saad.
It is, okay. It is a 3-letter word like max or min. What would be a 3-word abbreviation for average?
AVG.
AVG, okay. And its use is very similar to the usage of what we did here. It's an inner query.
Alright, so then what, select average or AVG?
Exactly. Of what field?
Over
Average
here.
of what? Average of?
Oh, cost.
Uh-huh. From books, right. Yes, we know you're here to learn. I'm helping you learn.
Hey, we did it together. It's teamwork.
Yes. Okay. So that will display that.
You didn't even give me a chance to finish typing the comments, and I had to answer the question.
Because it's a teamwork. You're using my screen.
No, I'm using my screen. Your screen's at your house.
That's a nice resource that Ethan shared.
Already downloaded.
That's a pretty nice resource.
Somebody shared it on LinkedIn as I was checking my profile the other day. And I was like, oh, I could probably use this.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, let's get to the next one. Greg Skripsky. What
All right.
should I write to calculate profit for all the books? I just want to see the profit values of all the books.
So select
Uh-huh.
and then would it be sum and inside the
Well, why would you want to use a sum?
oh wait, profit val I'm sorry, I'm thinking of totaling all the profit values, not each separate profit value. So I'm guessing we'll get there. So retail minus cost. There we go.
From book. I purposely gave you that problem because I know you were in a different thinking mode. So we did not have
Yep.
to use subquery to do this. So I purposely gave you something very simple to solve. Okay. Now comes the real challenge. Okay, Greg, you ready?
All right.
Okay. Display all titles of books that have a profit of more than the average profit of all books.
Okay, so let's just go ahead and start off with the simple part. Select titles
Uh-huh.
from books.
Uh-huh.
Let's see, profit. So that would be again the retail minus cost.
Okay, what should I write after books?
Oh, where?
Where? Okay.
Yeah.
Retail minus cost. Okay. Now.
And then greater than
Uh-huh.
and average profit of all books. So in a subquery,
Uh-huh.
select AVG,
Uh-huh.
retail minus cost.
Right. Okay. So the inner query will select the average profit for all the books. I'm going to give one value to the outer query. And then based on that, the outer query will select the title of all those books whose profit exceeds that amount.
I can't remember if we did this before, but is there a way to put an alias that you could use it in like that subquery? So like if you said select title and retail minus cost as profit.
In this case, you wouldn't have to because it is giving one value back. But in correlated subqueries is a different deal.
Okay.
Okay, but in this query, we only need a value. We do not need any reference to the inner queries. Because the job of the inner query is done by simply providing a value for the outer query to work with. The only reason we are doing this because we cannot back and forth reference between an aggregate and a single value in the same where clause.
Oh yeah, I just mean for like
Right.
to make it a little more readable.
Right, but there
I'm
is
sure it
no
gets
point.
nasty.
There is no point of doing that here.
Okay.
Because of that reason, because outer query is not referencing the inner query. All it needs is a value back.
Okay.
And that is not even part of your display. So there's no point of aliasing it. Even if you did, it would make no difference. Okay. Okay. Now for this one, I will let you work individually. I'll check back with you in 5 minutes. So Caden, to make this work, how many tables did you use?
I used 3 different tables.
3 different tables. Can you list those for me?
Yes. The author table, book author,
Book
and book.
and book author. Okay. And why did you have to use 3 tables?
Because the author last name was in author, and then there was one table in between connecting
The
the
2
author
tables.
table
Very
and
good.
book.
Very good. Very good. So the booked information is in the book table, the author information is in the author table, and book author is a link between the two. Awesome. Okay. So we did something like this last week, right? Guys, we were able to get to the book, from the book to the author. Jose, what should I write?
Okay, I think you have to write, select L name from books,
L name from books, okay.
alias B as in boy, inner join, go ahead.
Yes.
Okay, so inner join, book author, alias BA,
Huh?
on B.ISBN equal BA.ISBN,
Okay.
inner join, author, alias A, own, I'm missing the own.
Mm-hmm.
On BA dot author ID equal to where is that table?
A.
A
Oh.
that author ID.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
So it's
Oh,
ID,
sorry,
not number.
author ID. Sorry, author ID. Sorry. Okay. And what else?
Okay. Yes. And
What else?
and then the field name, which is last. I mean, we already included that. Let me see. What else? Let me look at the display the last name. Oh, of the most expensive. Okay, then. Okay, where retail retail is equal to parentheses select max function retail from books.
Very good.
Oh, it's hard to do it in your head. Very hard.
That's a challenge, right? That's a challenge. A lot of you, I'm purposely putting you guys through this challenge today.
I have one question about this one.
Yes.
Why are we picking L name from books? Wouldn't you want to pick it from author, or does it not matter?
No, we are still picking it from author. We are just mentioning.
Okay.
We're just
I got you.
mentioning the tables.
Okay, cool. All right, cool. I just
Yeah.
wanted to make sure.
Yeah.
So in essence, the books is just the starting place to
Yeah,
make
yeah,
all the
I'm
joins.
seeing it. Yeah, I'm seeing it. That's
Okay.
cool. All right.
Yeah. So this is what I'm trying to do here. I'm trying to revise what we did last week and then link it to what we're doing today in this example. So just taking it one step further from where we were last time.
Is it right that there's 3 outputs, 3 results?
Yeah, there are 3 people here because there were multiple authors of that
That
book.
have the most expensive book?
Yeah, the most
Oh,
expensive book
yeah,
had
yeah,
3.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
makes sense. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. So I want to make a brief modification to this output. display. Okay, so let me take the exact same query that we wrote here. So Jared, what change will I make to my select portion? We do have Jared here, right? Yeah, I thought I saw Jared. Yeah, Jared is here. Jared, you're there or you stepped away? Okay. Maybe Jared is not there. So ask somebody else. Jordan.
I knew you were gonna pick another J name. I felt it.
Felt
So
a disturbance in the force.
I did, yeah. So put F name,
okay,
or
so-
sorry, no, you have it that
Yeah,
way.
yeah.
Do plus
Plus,
F name.
no, we don't use plus in SQL. That's Java or C#, not here. What is the operator that we use here?
It works.
What is the concatenation operator? In SQL. What's the concatenation operator? There are like 3 of them, but
Concat.
anyway,
Concat.
concat. Okay. And then I want a comma. So should I use double quotes or single quotes?
Single.
Single quotes. Okay. And then concat with F
Your
name.
F name. Yep.
Okay. And it says column alias full name. So what should I write for that?
As first name
As full name.
or full name. Yeah.
Okay. There we go. Cool. Everybody got this one?
Yes.
I know I'm taking a little different approach today where I'm asking you guys some questions because I want to see if everybody's learning fine the concepts that we have learned before and connecting it with our concepts that we are getting into now.
Well, why are you making us
Think, right?
Yeah, why are you picking on us?
I will gonna go through everybody.
bring it on. It's all right. It's not like I'm gonna run away from the question.
It's just like, you know, I mean, okay, so there are some people who are left, right? So let's see. Ethan, can you give me a query to display the pub ID of the book Big Bear and Little Dove? What would I write for this?
Well, we're gonna need to use books and publisher.
Why?
First we start out.
Why do we need
Select.
publisher?
Oh, pub ID's already in books. Never mind. Select pub ID from books where title equals to and then the title.
Okay, simple query, very simple, something that we did in the past. Okay, so that's a query. Okay. Now let's add one level of complexity to make it like a nested query. Okay, so I want to display title of all books published by the publisher of Big Bear and Little Dove. Okay, let's go down. Aiden.
Hold on, I'm writing it out in my own script. I've almost got it done.
Okay.
Okay. Select title from books B. Inner join publisher P on b.pubid equals p.pubid.
Why would you want to do that?
That's how I
Because
join stuff together.
right, but pub ID is already
Oh yes, God. We just did that. Well, okay, then do oh. Oh, I don't know how to do it then, because that's how I did this. I'm gonna have to redo my whole thing.
I got a solution for it.
Oh, okay. Who got a solution for it? Okay.
I have a solution, it's just not efficient.
That's
All right,
okay.
so after books, where pub ID equals and then and then a subquery.
Yes. Yes.
Select pub ID. Yeah, and then it's literally
That's exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I got it halfway through. I'm saying it, but yeah, I did it not a great way. It's all right.
It's okay. Just learning. Nothing to worry about.
Hey, I'm really learning because now I'm learning I did it wrong. I got a different output, so I'm really learning.
So we select the title from Brooks where publisher ID matches. So first, the inner query gives us the publisher ID of that book that's Big Bear and Little Dove, and then we are using that pub ID to run the outer query to select all those books where publisher ID matches that particular one. This kind of stuff is used by a lot of retailers when they want to cross-sell you stuff. Customers who purchase this item also purchase this item. Have you seen that kind of stuff on Amazon?
Yes.
Right. So they're doing something similar between the data sets. So when you're looking at something, they want to relate it with something else that happened with somebody else and make you buy stuff that you don't need. Let's take a break here. When we come back, we will do some more of these queries. Okay? So we'll see you at 7:55. Let me share screen again. So before we went on break, this is the query that we last wrote, which is to display the titles of all the books published by the publisher of the Big Bear and Little Dove. Okay, let me grab this and modify. And okay, so publish, okay, and generate profit more than the average profit of all books. Okay, guys. So what change do we need to make to this query?
Can you add another subquery?
Yes, yes, you can.
So then from
Yeah, and you can join them too.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Jared, I was asking for you before the break. I think you were not at your desk at that time.
Oh, I was at the bathroom.
Okay, so
Probably.
can you help with this one?
Make another subquery with a join where profit is greater than
So
average profit.
Yep, the profit is, oops, is greater than the average profit. Okay. How will I join the two subqueries though? How will I join the two parts of the where? So that I have one where condition where pub ID equals to this.
can
And
you just say and?
Yep, that's it. That's it. Awesome. Okay. Okay, for the next one, let's ask somebody that I did not ask before. So let's see. Ismail. Ismail is writing his response. I don't know, Ismail, do you have a mic or no?
Yeah, I'm just
Okay.
trying to figure it out here. Would it be select? Let's see. Yeah, select AVG.
Select AVG. Okay.
And in parentheses, retail minus cost
Retail minus cost.
as profit.
Okay, as profit.
Comma category from books.
Anything else? This doesn't require any subqueries, but it is not complete.
Uh, looks done to me.
If I run it the way it is right now, it errors out.
You have to group by category
Yes. And why would I have to do that?
because for every category, it's only gonna return one average.
Very good. So you want one value for each category. So since there are multiple categories repeating for each category, so there are multiple computer books, there are multiple life books, there are multiple business books. So you cannot use an aggregate function with a repeating value. Therefore, what you got to do is you got to group the repeating values as a single group, and only then you can correlate it with an aggregate function. So now it will give you a profit per category. Okay, Angelica, can you give us the query for this one? Oops. Oh, we don't have Angelica left. Right? I don't see her.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, no wonder I have less people here than there were before break. Okay. A rally. And again, this doesn't require any subqueries. It's a simple query, something that we have done in the past. Similar.
Would it be select average retail minus cost as profit from books where category equals literature?
Very good. Okay. Now there's a reason I made you guys write these two separate queries. Because next I am giving a task that I want everybody to accomplish. Is you'll work individually to accomplish this task. I want to display list of all books, book categories rather, and average profit for each category for all those categories where the average profit is more than average profit of literature category.
Hey, quick question, Saad. Why can't we put literature in double quotes? What's the difference of single quotes and double quotes? In SQL, I forgot.
Yeah, double quotes is only used for aliasing. For all the
Okay.
character values, we use single quotes.
All right.
Yeah, please give me a green check when you guys are done with this one. So far I received one green check, so maybe one person is done so far. Okay, I see that a lot of you are done, almost, 60% of you are done. So actually, in order to get this one done, you need to combine the two queries that I told you before. So how did you guys accomplish this one? So you select the category, and you select the average profit from books. So display the list of book categories and average profit for each category. So since I cannot use average and category in the same context, I got to group by, right? So group by category, okay? Now, how do I do this part? How did you guys do this part? Where'd you put this in your query?
I just use the having.
Why?
That's what I usually do.
Because you have to filter it after you group them.
That's Alvin. That is the correct answer. Not that you, because I always do that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Filters
Because it works.
Because the elimination has to happen after categorization. That's why we are using the having clause, right? Yeah, that's what I meant, right?
Of course.
Yes, of course.
Of course. Yeah, filters are results, includes only categories where the average profit is greater than the average profit of literature category.
Oops.
Can you explain why where wouldn't why I'm sorry, can you explain why where didn't
Yeah.
work? Like
Yeah.
having does?
Yep. I will explain that just 1 minute. Okay. Why we used having and why we didn't use where. If you look at the sequence in which the clauses are written, you will see that the where clause is written before the group by clause and having clause is written after the group by clause. The purpose of where and having is exactly the same. The main difference is if you want to eliminate any records before you group them, you use where clause. If you want to eliminate records after you group them, we use having clause. Now, since we are using an aggregate function is working on the grouping process because we are calculating average by categories. So we have the list of all the categories, and for each category, we have its average profit. Now, once we calculate that, only after that, we want to eliminate all those categories who do not meet the criteria. Since we're eliminating after grouping, we're using having clause.
So having clause eliminates everything after and where eliminates before.
Before grouping.
I see. Okay.
Yeah. So this would eliminate all those categories who do not meet the criteria. And the criteria is that any category who has an average profit that exceeds the average profit of literature category, only that category will be selected. Okay. Now let's get to an idea that we read in the chapter, an idea of what we call a nested view. A nested view is that we temporarily generate a table on the fly. We probably may give it a name. And then from that temporary table, we select some of the fields in the select clause. Why would we want to do something like this? Our next example will show us. But let's first look at using nested view. So first of all, let me create my from clause, and then I will go up to the select. So select, I'm not putting anything. From is what I'm building now. So I am putting my select temporary table that I want to select category. I want to select the minimum retail. Okay, so in my from clause, I have created a select command in which I am selecting three things. I'm selecting a category, and for each category, I'm selecting the minimum retail and the maximum retail. And this temporary table will be aliased as, for example, I can say, this is my cat min max table. That's the alias. So first I generate some fields, and now I can reference them in my select command as category, comma, min underscore retail, comma, max underscore retail. And when you run it, you get the min and the max retail of each category. And you will be like, well, I could easily achieve that without having to use the nested view. But the example is not complete yet. I will tell you why I'm doing it this way in just a minute. But I want to make sure that everybody get this output first. Now, before I modify anything from this query, I'm just grabbing whatever I wrote in my nested query. This is a nested view because it's actually generating a view on the fly. So that's why it's called nested view. And I'm pasting.
You cut out on that last sentence there.
Oh, I said this is called a nested view because I'm generating a view on the fly. And then from that view, I'm selecting some fields. And since this view was generated in subquery, that's why it's called a nested view subquery. Okay, so now in this test, if I just run this test by itself, okay, you will see that you get the exact same output. Now, let me tell you that I want you to do this in this test. Include only those categories where min retail is over 20 and max retail is under 50. So modify this to achieve that. Okay, Greg and Bart, are those green checks from before or you already got it?
They were before, but
Okay.
Mine was too, yeah.
Okay. Okay. So let me clear the feedbacks. Okay. And when you achieve that, let me know. Okay, so we have somebody who got the answer. Zach. Zach, what did you do here?
Right after the category, I put having, and then min retail is greater than 20. And then I did and max retail is less than 50.
How did you do that? It's not working for me.
I typed out the entire min retail
Oh,
max retail.
okay. So you changed a few things around, but that was not the case here. Don't change things around and do it with a where, not with a having. So as you can see, you cannot do this. You can't do it without an alias. You cannot do it with an alias, and you can't do it with a where, because everything has to be eliminated after the grouping. However, if you take the nested view approach, then you don't have to worry about either of the two things. In the nested view approach, let me go back here and let me put this comment right up here. Okay. Now, in the nested view, if I write a where clause right here, the where clause is for the select from. The where clause is not for the nested query. The nested query is by itself. It already generated the result. So now I can easily use a where clause in which I can say, you know, min retail less than 20 and max retail, less than 50, and this is greater than 20. Okay. So this allows me to create my main criteria as a on-the-fly table, and then I can use whatever fields I want to use from there in the outer query and still simplify as opposed to getting, you having to not use the alias, because you cannot use the alias in the having clause. Okay. The other thing we learned before was that for every value in the inner query, it needs to be executed only once. If it executes for more than once, that outer query cannot read such values with equals to or greater than or less than. Now, there's a difference between multi-value query and correlated query. These are two different things. Sometimes people get confused between the two terminologies. Multi-value query means inner query returns more than one value, but it only does it once. But only does it once. But it returns multiple values as opposed to returning a single value. In a correlated query, the inner query includes a field from outer query so it runs as many times as the outer query because it is running for every record. It's not just running for one, it's not just running once and then letting everybody use those values. Also, what did I tell you about exists versus not exists? Exists pretty much means exists if inner query produces at least one record, only then outer query will run. Okay, so if exists. If exists. If not exists means if inner query does not produce any records, only then the outer query will run. So they're just opposite of each other. So what we'll do in our next examples is we will work with all three of these things: correlated, exists, and not exists. Okay? But let's first start with correlated. Correlated means the fields will be related between inner and outer query. Let's say I want to list all customers from the customer YS table. Where no rows exist in the orders table with the same customer number. So, first of all, I will have a select criteria from the customers table. And let me alias it C. So I want to grab every customer's ID and every customer's last name. Now my criteria is where no rows exist, means where not exists, select star from orders, where customer number, that means the customer number in the orders table, matches the customer number in the customers table. So in the correlated subquery, what's happening is that the inner query is actually referencing a field from the outer query. So every time it runs, what does it do? It queries the outer query and say, okay, I want to see all those customers that are found in both tables, right? So that's what the inner query is doing. But the not exist clause says only pick those people who do not exist in this list. As a result, here I get all those customers who don't exist in the orders table. And without using any joins. I didn't use any joins there because I was not interested in any field from the orders table. So this is just a bypass or an alternate way of only querying one table, but your result is based on the occurrence in the other table without using joins. You guys follow that?
Oh, good. I thought it was my internet that was failing today, but Saad, you keep cutting in and out maybe every 20, 30 seconds.
Oh, okay. Okay. Let me.
Yeah, it's been getting worse.
I got like 50%. So
Oh, okay. You know, probably is because every time I connect to Gateway's VPN, hold on a second. Okay. Is this any better? Than before? Or still cutting off?
Yeah, you're cutting off.
Okay. Hold on a second. Okay, am I still cutting off?
You sound better now, right now.
Okay, okay. So I just disconnected myself from the Gateway's VPN. And I just ran a speed test. My speeds are the normal. Usually anytime I get connected to the VPN from Gateway, it just messes up my connection. I don't know why.
maybe it's because everyone uses it.
I have no idea. The last time it dropped to 1 megabits per second of download and 12 upload. When it is usually, you know, the numbers are much higher than that.
That sounds great now.
Okay, so probably I will just disconnect myself from Gateway's VPN and then talk about it here, just like this, okay? Okay. So what I did over here is that my inner query selected all the orders where the customer number matches the customers in the outer query. That means I have a list of all those customers who ever placed an order. But here we have a correlated subquery where the inner query is constantly mapping to the outer query field continuously to generate the list of all those customers who placed an order. Everybody got it this far with the inner query? Okay. Now, what the outer query is doing, outer query is saying, I am not interested in those people who have placed an order. So that's why the outer query says, please tell me those people who do not exist in that list. So the outer query will give you all those customer IDs and all those customer names who do not exist as to be found in the orders table. Got it so far? Okay. Now everybody must be saying, okay, we could easily achieve that with a join. And we have done this last week, that we were able to query the customers table and the orders table, and we did a join. Okay. However, this is a solution without join. Why do you join two tables? You join two tables because you're interested in fields from both tables. Here, I'm not interested in fields from both tables. I'm only interested in the fields from the customers table based on the criteria that give me only those customers that are found, that are not found in the orders table. In other words, give me only those customers who have never placed orders without using join. Okay, you see that? Okay. Now, if I reverse this criteria to give me all those customers where they exist in the orders table, so I will just remove the word not. So these are the customers. Oops, since I'm not connected to VPN, this will not work. So now this will give me the list of all those customers who are found in both tables. It will fail. I'll just work like this. So without using joins, if you are interested in grabbing stuff from one table and you only want to check the other table to make sure if things are matching or not matching, then you can use a correlated subquery with exists or not exists. Okay? Any questions about this topic before we move to the next one? Everybody's good? Okay.
Yeah,
So
looks good.
there are multiple ways of doing the same thing, but that's the criteria that we were heading for to be able to do that. Okay. Now, let's say I want to select the title and category of least expensive book in each category. I want the title, the category, and let me stick with the retail and category. Okay. How will I accomplish this? I need the title. I need the retail. And I need the category. From books. Where retail, okay. So select the title, retail, and category of least expensive book in each category. So you'll be like, oh, that's easy. What I can do is I can write an inner query, and my inner query would be like, I want to select the minimum retail from books group by category, right? What operator should I use between retail and the inner query? What operator should I use between retail and the inner query?
Is it equal?
Equal. That will fail. Oops, you guys can give me a better answer, right? Is equal working?
Nope.
Nope, it will not. Why? It will not work. Why will equal not work? Anybody has any logical answer for that?
Because it's not quite matching up. So it's doing like the categories, but it's trying to do all into that one retail.
It's not matching up. What do you mean it's not matching up?
So you're doing the min retail for all of the different categories.
Mm-hmm.
So you're getting a lot of different results for that.
Mm-hmm.
And we're just looking for that one retail.
Okay. So if I understood you correctly, you mean to say that the nested query has many values and we are trying to match it to one value.
Yes.
Okay.
That's a better way of saying it.
And equals to cannot be used in a situation where one side has one value and another side has many values. Is everybody following that? So one side has only one value for retail, and the other side will give you several values because it is giving you min for each category. So in this situation, we call it multi-valued subquery. Remember that was another concept we learned, and this is where you use an in operator, not an equals operator. Now try it with the in operator, and it should work without a problem. You guys got 8 records back?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yep. Title, retail, and category.
Yep. And also, if you notice in the title bar, it tells you how many records it returned in the bottom left corner.
Yep. 8 rows retrieved. Good. Yep.
And also you will notice that each category is only selected once, and the value given to you is the lowest retail in that category. Okay. Now, let's look at some other multi-valued ones. So I want to list books that have retail higher than the average retail of category of any retails. So I am selecting still the retail, the title, and the category from books, but my retail should be higher than the average retail for any category. So my average retail, I'm calculating here. This is my, oops. Come on. Edit, copy, edit, paste. Okay, where average retail. So in my nested query, I have the average retail for all the books. So for each category, it is giving me an average retail. And I'm looking for those books where my retail is greater than any of these. Okay. My retail is greater than any of these. Got it?
Yep, came back good.
Okay, list books that have a retail value higher than the retail category of all retails. In that case, you will use the all operator, means you are looking for only those books whose retail exceeds all averages, not just any, but all averages. So these will be the top books who exceeds all retail's averages from all categories. So something like this could be used to give me the list of all those students who scored higher than the average score of students from all categories. So first of all, it will give you an average for each category for students. And then these are the students who rank higher than the average of all the categories. So that's another operator that we use. That's for multi-valued queries, multi-valued subqueries. Okay. Everybody got this one as well? Okay. Okay, let me go to the Blackboard. One thing for sure, next time I'm using V2 Cloud, not using this.
It wasn't too bad at first.
When did it start getting bad?
It was maybe like the last like 15, 20 minutes that you started cutting out.
Yeah, for sure.
The rest of like the beginning of class was perfectly fine for me.
Okay.
Yeah,
There were a
same
couple
here.
of
Like after break.
times. There were a couple of times where you started like bunching up your words because of it slowing down, but it wasn't until after break that you really started hitting that.
Okay.
That's when I got to it. It was after break.
Okay. On my end, it didn't give me anything like unstable or anything like that. So
For
that's
me,
why.
it wasn't too bad. It was just a few times you had froze, but mine wasn't too bad.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, probably I should maybe avoid using, I don't know what's the connection, but because it happened last week too. And my internet was so slow, I almost ended up restarting the router and the modem, but it made no difference. And I was checking my speed dropped tremendously. And then only when I disconnected and everything was normal.
Gateway's router must be a potato then.
But you know, you guys have used it in the other classes. UVPN, right? For Alan's class, Advanced RPG.
Yeah.
Okay, does Alan also VPNs or does he use VT Cloud?
Pretty sure he does the VPN.
He does the VPN.
Probably.
Okay.
Yeah, because yeah, it's
But
probably the VPN.
But he doesn't talk for 4 hours like I do.
You're using up all the bandwidth.
Yeah.
So probably, yeah, I'm using a lot of Gateway's bandwidth, and they're like, no, you're not supposed to be talking all 4 hours.
Well, I mean, the free version of Zoom is like you get like 45 minutes.
Yeah, no, it's not that. Okay, so let me open up your next assignment, which will be due on the 21st. And that will be your assignment number 5. Okay? Assignment number 5. And then let me go to your quizzes. And your quiz number 6 was the last one I assigned you, right?
Yeah, that's the one that's due today.
Right. So let's give you quiz number or review number 7. And now let us make that also to expire on the 21st. So your review number 7 is up and your assignment number 7 is also up. Now let's get to the midterm. Give me 1 minute as I open the midterm. Okay. Now go ahead and click on the midterm take-home link on the left-hand side, and that will take you to the midterm. And in the midterm, it has 2 parts. The first part has 36 questions, 10 points per question. And the second part is a hands-on. It's a simple hands-on, this one. It's probably stuff that's based on earlier chapters 5 and 7. I didn't give any chapter 6 or 8 stuff to you on the midterm. So I'm asking you to create the tables based on the entity relationship diagram, insert 3 records in each table, perform update operation on 1 or more data items. Please delete also 1 or more data items. And I want all SQL statements that you will write for this. Also at the bottom, it tells you that the term and status, even though in the ER diagram, it says these are enums, I want you to create them as varchar fields and include the enum values in a check constraint. I want you to apply check constraint on those 2 fields with these values as part of the check constraint.
So wait, are you saying that we should take the enum values are bar chart, and then we use whatever is on the table that's enum, we do check constraints on it, right? Is that what you said?
Yeah, so that's what I said, that, this field will be declared of the type variable character. You guys can come up with your field size. And when you are creating table, you will apply check constraint on the status and the term fields. And the values in the check constraint will be the values stated in the enum over here.
Okay, and then like in arranged course, the course ID is equal to the ID in the course table.
Yeah, no, ID is ID in the arranged course, are you talking about?
Course ID in the arranged course.
Yes, yes, yes. Course ID in the arranged course is the foreign key. That's why it says FK in the end.
Okay, just had to go over that real quick to make sure.
Yeah, yeah. So I gave them different names, but gave that reference of FK there. And of course, this is an ER diagram. So when you will be creating an actual field, you cannot leave a space in the field name.
I'm still confused on the enum thing. Are we using a variable enum?
No, 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 no. This is what you're doing is the status and the term, both of these fields will be variable character fields.
Hmm.
Okay. Enum is what is pretty much listing the values that you will use in the check constraint. So there is no concept of enum in
Oh, I see. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So you
Sorry,
will
just
apply
take a
your,
minute to click for me.
you'll apply your check constraint on those values. So when you are inserting data, that's where you will show me that your check constraint is working. Because it should only allow you to enter active or obsolete for status for course, and fall, spring, summer, and year to be the only values available for term.
Okay.
Okay. So after today, I'll see you guys on the 21st of March. And you have 3 items due by the 21st of March. You have an assignment and a quiz and 2-part midterm. Okay?
Challenge accepted.
So everybody's clear on it?
Yep.
Awesome.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yep.
Have a good.
Yeah.
Yep, I'll see
Night.
some of you tomorrow. And for
Yep,
the rest
see you
of you,
tomorrow.
I'll see you soon.
On the
Have a good
question
one, Saad.
Here, bye.
on the question portion
Night,
of the
sir.
midterm,
See you, Saad.
Have a good night, guys. Have a
Hey,
good night,
man.
Saad.
Good night.
I'll see you when you hop on the next time.
Yep, yes, wait for the IP address to renew.
All right, man. Have a good night.
Good night. Yes, Jordan.
I was making a joke. I said, where it says there's no typos in the exam, I'm gonna thoroughly analyze that, So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the reason I put it out there because I got emails from students saying, the statement that you have written in this question is a false statement. And my response was, well, it is a true-false question, right?
Right, yeah. I get caught on those so many times though when you do that. I'm like, oh, is it a typo? Is it not a typo?
So otherwise, if there is a typo in the questions that are not true-false, then certainly that'll be a typo.
All right. Have a good weekend.
Take care.
So is this are we going to be able to save and quit out of this one? Or is it all like an all at
No,
once?
you don't have to. You don't have to do it in one sitting.
Okay. And
Yeah. It's just like your quizzes. You don't.
okay.
Yeah. You can complete it but you have to complete it within 2 weeks.
As long as it's before the 21st.
By 21st.
Oh, it's before? Okay.
By 21st. Yeah.
All right. Have a good one.
Cool. Take care.